When owners of plumbing, electrical, or similar service businesses get short on work, they often jump in and try some marketing. But most often, their marketing efforts are doomed to fail. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about why and how to avoid this happening to you and your business.
Creating the best plumbing, electrical, or similar construction-based service business is not about being the best person in the field or working harder and longer until you crack it. It's about you learning the skills to become a great business owner and leader so you can create a powerful business that makes strong profit and does not depend on you. For the last 10 years, Tony Fraser Jones has been advising construction-based service business owners to do just that. If you want to improve your profits, reduce the number of hours you work, and take greater control of your business, keep listening. If you want to get there faster, visit go.profitabletrady.com/podcast. Here's Tony.
Hi, I'm your host, Tony Fraser Jones, and hanging out with my sidekick, Phil Smith. Phil's the COO here at Profitable Trading. G'day,
Hey
Phil.
everybody, how you doing? Great to be here.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to jamming today in our podcast, mate. I reckon it's going to be massively helpful for all the plumbing, electrical, and similar service business owners out there. So, mate, what are we talking about today?
Mate, this one again, very close to my heart. We're talking about what you need to do when you need more work and it's time to do some marketing, and specifically about the mistake that lots of people make, which causes them to jump into any old marketing with basically not getting their strategy clear first.
Yeah, strategy is kind of important when it comes to marketing, right?
Massively important. So, hey, Tony, what happens if we want to do some marketing but we don't have that strategy?
Yeah, a bunch of not cool stuff in my experience. So, what can happen? Things like you get a telemarketing call, and I'm sure we've all had them, and you end up signing up to a bunch of marketing stuff that you just don't need or want. Maybe you've got lots of ups and downs in your workflow. So without a strategy around marketing, it's difficult.
All right. So, hey, what happens if we need to do some marketing but we don't have a clear strategy?
Yeah, some bad stuff, I reckon. Look, a bunch of things can happen. Maybe you get a telemarketing call from some marketing agency or whatever, and you sign up to a bunch of marketing stuff that you don't even need. Definitely see that happening.
For sure.
I think you'll find you have up and down workflow. So you'll get busy and then have quiet periods.
The old feast and famine.
Feast and famine,
Yeah.
The up and the down. You get tight on cash because you have a couple of good months, then they're followed by a couple of slow months where you give all those gains back. So it's like 2 steps forward and 1.5 back.
Yeah.
I think you get really frustrated too with the whole concept of marketing and you give up.
Definitely seen that before, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, we get it all the time. Hey, I did this marketing. Apparently marketing doesn't work. When actually what's been happening is that they just haven't been doing the right things for their market and haven't been actually tapping the right strategies because honestly they didn't have a plan to begin with.
I think that's huge.
Yeah. So, hey, Tony, on the other hand, what if we get this right?
Well, you're going to have consistent workflow. So you have consistent leads coming in, which means you can get consistent workflow, which means you can get consistent profit and consistent cash flow. So that's important. You'll find that rather than marketing being a cost, it'll actually turn into an investment. And you'll understand that, if you spend $100, you're going to get $300 worth of gross profit back. So you'll actually start to understand the equation of making marketing a return on investment rather than just a cost.
Sure.
And I think one thing that's massively important and underestimated is it actually gives you a lot of confidence. If you know you can market, you can get new work, and you can drive business, it gives you the confidence to hire new people, new employees, to invest in equipment for the business as you know that the workflow's actually going to be there. I think that's a massive part of it.
Yeah, it's huge, mate. I mean, how many times have we seen people say, hey, I'd love to grow my business, but, to do that, I need to hire more people. And I say, well, why don't you hire more people? And they go, well, what if I can't keep them busy? It's just that whole uncertainty. It turns into a chicken and egg thing. But if you know you can do the marketing, you know you can generate the work, and you can do it on demand, well, then basically you've got a machine that you can just grow whenever you want to.
Well, pretty much you can grow when you can find the right
when you find the right people.
The right people. So it becomes more about marketing for talent.
For talent. And I suppose that's something we'll definitely cover.
We should definitely talk about that because that's a whole nother kettle of fish, right? That's a big one.
All right. Well, Tony, look, I know you love stories, mate. You've always got a few in the holster for us. So why don't you go ahead and see what you got for marketing?
Sure, man. Well, Phil, I got a story about a chap called Neil. Neil, not his real name, Neil.
Yeah, not his real name, guys, not his real name. Or maybe it is, who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, Neil, he owns a plumbing business with his wife. He was short of work and he got called by a company who was selling an online directory. In this case, the directory was called Builderscrack. So he did that, and he also signed up with an agency to do Google Ads because he needed some more work. 4 months down the track, old mate Neil has 0 jobs. Well, he had 0 jobs from either the online directory or the Google Ads, and he was several $1,000s, down the hole. His comments? Oh, this marketing stuff's a waste of time and it doesn't work. Well, actually, there was probably a few more descriptive words in there, shall we say, mate?
Few expletives.
Yeah, a few flowery words.
Well, let's just say there's a reason we couldn't put a snippet of Neil's call on the podcast today.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the key thing. Neil was actually targeting high-end builders. That's kind of the work that he wanted.
Hang on. He was doing Builders Crack and Google Ads.
Yeah. So, what's the problem with that?
Big problem. You're targeting the right market, but you're targeting it the wrong way. So
That's
you
right.
know what type of work you want to get.
Which was a good start, right?
Yeah. He knows what type of work he wants to get. That's great. Like a lot of people aren't even sure about that, but Neil had that locked in. Problem is, he picked strategies that weren't actually going to deliver that type of work or appeal to that market.
Yeah, I mean, if he got any new high-end builders from that strategy, he's going to be lucky, right?
Well, I would probably suggest if he got some high-end builders from those strategies, it wasn't from those strategies. It was probably from something else.
Yeah.
And he would have just put the blame on those strategies.
That's right.
It's more like in spite of, rather than
in spite of. So, yeah, we've actually got to get the strategy right. And I think that's something we want to break down on today's podcast, is how to actually kind of have a bit of a method to the marketing madness, if you like, so Definitely. You can actually target the right people in the right way, because that makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, shall we dive into how to do that?
Yeah, man. Well, like the first thing, I guess, is even before we get into marketing is if you don't have enough jobs, is it actually even a marketing problem? Because it could be like a sales problem, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how many times have we spoken to clients and they say, hey, I'm not getting enough jobs, I want to do a bunch of marketing. We test it, we have a look into the numbers, and we see, actually, you're getting heaps of leads, you just don't convert them. In which case, yeah, we got a sales issue. So that's the first thing we need to be clear on. If I want more jobs, do I need more leads, or do I need to convert those leads? And if I need more leads, that's when it's marketed.
100%. And so, we're not going to dig into sales today in a big way, because that's another whole kettle of fish as well, right?
Future episode.
That's right. Stay tuned for the sales episode. There's probably about 10 episodes on sales, because there's a lot to that as well.
For sure.
But, if you can get more people to say yes to your quotes or your bids, life's going to be much easier. And sometimes it's as easy as just following them up.
Definitely.
As a starting point. But I think put that to the side, but the mistake that most business owners make is with marketing is they think channel first rather than marketing strategy. So when we're talking channel, we mean the type of marketing.
Media.
The media, like AdWords or
Facebook, email,
cold call,
flyers,
print advertising, TV, Instagram.
Hey, TikTok, who knows?
The gram. It's a little bit outside my area of expertise, mate, but I know you're a big grammer. You get on the gram.
Mate, I've seen you on TikTok doing your little dances.
TikTok. Turn it up. Yeah. What is TikTok anyway?
Let's not get into that today, mate. Well, let's get back to the marketing. So, hey, Tony, why don't you talk us through how we can create a strategy?
Well, I think that the key thing is to understand what the 3 M's of marketing are. Now, this is not something that we've invented. This is something that Dan Kennedy is like a guru of direct response marketing invented, but it's super helpful. So there's 3 M's of marketing. The first M is market. So we want to be crystal clear on who we are targeting with quite a level of detail. So for instance, if you're targeting building contractors, what sort of building contractors are you targeting? Is it high volume group housing companies that are pumping out hundreds of houses? Or is it high-end architectural homes, which will be, higher value but maybe less turnover, different types of building contractors? Is it shop fit-outs? Is it people who, build apartments or high-rises or, towers? There's a whole bunch of different people in that market. So we want to be crystal clear on who that market is. It might be, maintenance work. What sort of work? So there's a whole bunch of things that we've got to get really clear on that, because if we're not clear on that, everything else is kind of hit and miss, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't really market to somebody if I'm not marketing to anybody, If I'm trying to, get a certain type of work, marketing, just general marketing to everybody, I mean, really, I'm not hitting anyone just right.
Doesn't resonate.
It's like a one-size-fits-all shoe. And no one wants to wear it, right?
100%. That's exactly the point. So you've got to be crystal clear on who your market is and be really detailed. And you might have a couple of markets or 2 or 3 markets, maybe 4. Probably 10's not ideal.
Well, let's
honestly,
see.
but
I mean,
unless you're a really
doing-
big business, you're doing 20, 30 million a year, maybe you'll have, you
You might have a few markets at that
a few
point.
markets, but
If you're doing $1 million or less, like, honestly, one market.
one or two, perhaps.
2 markets.
Yeah.
That's
Two
where
might
we
be good because
playing.
it creates a little bit of risk, if one market goes lame.
Definitely, but not 10.
Not 10 because it's too complicated. So be crystal clear on who you're targeting. And then the next thing is what's the message? So once you know who you're targeting, what's the message or the copy that's actually going to work for them?
Definitely.
And that's different depending on the market.
100%. I mean, if I'm targeting builders, I'm going to need to use some specific, jargon and specific terminology, which actually shows that I know what I'm talking about, versus somebody else who, if I'm actually going to be marketing to homeowners, for example, I might use that same specific jargon, that same specific terminology. It's going to go right over their head. The different things are going to appeal to different people. Not to mention even just the topics of what I talk about. If I want to talk about, something to a builder, I'm going to be talking about things that appeal to that builder.
So, for example, if you're doing projects with builders, you need to make it, obvious that you've got the ability to price work quickly.
Yeah.
You can handle variations quickly. You've got really strong, robust project management processes, so you can be there exactly when they need you. Whereas a homeowner, variations and all that sort of stuff is probably not quite so important.
They want their dreams to be made true.
Well, that's right. Or the problem
It's
fixed
different.
right
Yeah,
now. So
problem
some
fixed.
things are the same, but obviously some things are quite different. It's even the terminology you use as well is huge. So we've got number 1, who's the market you're targeting? Number 2, what's the message that's going to resonate with them? And 3, what media? That's where you choose how to get the message to them. That's where you choose the channel.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Tony, one thing I can definitely tell you is you don't have high-end builders sitting on Facebook scrolling along looking for a new Sparky. That's just not the way it goes, mate. That's not how you get them.
They may see you there, but the best way, let's talk about that as an example.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're targeting building contractors, that's high-end homes,
Yeah.
nice homes. We know who the market is. Well, we can actually find a list of those people. We don't need to, we might use social media, but we can actually go buy or build or borrow or steal a list or from an association to get some names and numbers and email addresses and physical addresses and actually create a message that works for them and then target them directly with direct mail, follow-up strategy, a nurture system with email, phone calls, meet and greet. After that, that's going to be way more direct than doing AdWords, which you might be lucky if they are searching online.
That's right. I mean, I suppose AdWords is kind of like throwing one line out into the vast blue ocean and hoping that just the right fish happens to stumble across your bait. Whereas
For that particular client base, anyway.
particular client. Whereas, on the other hand, for this type of thing, what you're really looking at being able to do is I can actually collect up all the fish I want, put them in a barrel.
Shoot them.
Yeah, and
Well,
shoot them.
But, probably not shoot them. But
But what I could actually do is I could chuck in just the right amount of bait so that every single fish in that barrel gets something to eat.
that's right.
And a few of them only come up on a hook, right?
Happy days. And so then, if we're thinking of Google Ads, if your market was homeowners, well, they're going to go to Google Ads to find a contractor or a tradesperson if they don't have one already. Well, that's the right place. That's the right media to use potentially.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I suppose the whole key is it's about you want to be hanging out where your clients and prospective clients hang out. If your customers are going to be on Google, you want to be advertising on Google. So for the high-end builder, they're not on Google, so don't advertise there for them. But on the other hand, that homeowner, they are on Google, so that's where we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And there might be a bit of crossover with some of the stuff, but get really clear on the market, and then that'll save you a lot of money in terms of the type of marketing you actually use to get them.
That's for sure.
So that's important. So key thing, I guess, that we've been talking about today is it's very easy when you need more work to actually just do some marketing in the hope that it works.
Definitely.
Often it doesn't because there's no strategy, and strategy requires you first to make sure that it's a marketing problem. So, look at your sales process and see if there's gaps there, because that's the cheapest way to fix this problem and get the most out of any marketing you do. And then it's understanding, hey, what's the market I need to target? What message is going to resonate best with them? And then I choose what media, the actual marketing approach. And that's going to make the investment I make in any marketing, pay way more bucks than just the hit and hope, the sort of shotgun strategy, which I think a lot of us have been guilty of doing, at times in our business.
For sure. All right. Well, let's land this plane, Tony. So,
All right. So, well, good stuff. Cool hanging out today.
Awesome,
Phil,
mate.
talking about this stuff. I hope you've all enjoyed this podcast. So please subscribe to the podcast so when we create new episodes, we can let you know about those. And also you can join our free Facebook group which is a great place to hang out for motivated, like-minded owners of service businesses. All the details in the episode notes, so check it out. Thanks heaps for listening. We'll catch you all next time. And remember, your marketing strategy is way more important than just doing any old marketing.
That's for sure.
Thanks for tuning in to the Profitable Tradie Podcast with Tony Fraser-Jones. For more information and to get the resources mentioned in this podcast, visit www.profitabletradie.com/podcast or check out the episode notes for more details.